This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
Hi, my name is Adam Homey, and welcome once again to the Brilliance Plus Passion Project. Today, I am very excited to be speaking with Shelley Carney, and let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a live stream coach. Her website is www.livecast.life. And just to share a bit more, she is a YouTube live podcast and blogging host and coach, inspiring encore entrepreneurs to start their own weekly live stream videos, podcasting, and blogging to expand their brand and business. Along with her business partner, Toby Younis, she provides production services and consultants to help their clients grow their business through consistent content marketing. And together, Shelley and Toby wrote the book, Livecast Life, The Content Creator Lifestyle. She's also a co-host of the Livestream podcast, Women Conquer Business, along with founder Jen McFarland. Shelley and Jen share content marketing tips, tools, and tactics tailored for women instructors and women entrepreneurs. Wow.
Yes.
Many talents. Shelley, welcome aboard. It's so exciting to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Adam. It's good to be here.
Great. So let's dive right in. The first question we like to share with our guests here is, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large?
Well, thank you. I help people to imagine the possibilities. Recently, you may have seen this as well. There's been some research released, one that's called Sounds Profitable, the people behind the podcasts, and also the 2022 Content Creator Benchmark Research. And both of these indicate to me that content creators over the age of 45 are few and far between. We only make up about 2% of the population of content creators and podcasters. So I feel like I set an example for the older generation to say, oh, wow, there are people our age doing this. Maybe I can do it too. And the work I do helps content creators, activists, coaches, trainers, speakers. It helps all of them to bridge that gap between what they have to say and getting people to hear it. So putting up a platform with them so that they can share their message with the world and hopefully in that process make the world a better place.
Right. So we already shared that you're a YouTube live podcast and blogging host and coach, and that you provide production services and consulting that help clients grow through consistent content marketing, which I think is fantastic. So just to be clear, because I know this is something that many of our listeners are curious about, does this also include editing and posting podcast episodes once they're recorded?
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
We try not to edit. So what we do is we do a live stream. We start off with a live stream. Then we take the audio, pull that off, put it up on the podcast. We almost never edit that because it's a conversation and it's live and it gives that extra authenticity to it. And then I will transcribe that audio and turn it into a blog post. So it all happens once a week and all at once. right? So you create all of your content for the week in that 1 hour that you're doing your live stream.
That's fantastic. And I could not agree more with the editing thing. I
Right.
have seen podcasts die over an obsession with editing. I go to podcasting discussion groups and I see folks post question like, I was listening to the replay of my podcast and like my guest did, 3 verbal pauses in the first minute. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Should I have them re-record?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they just don't get that people are listening to the conversation and they expect it to sound like a
Yeah.
conversation, right?
It's meta marketing on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's personality based marketing. When you're podcasting, you're using this as your networking, client attraction, celebrity expert branding tool. So you want people to see authentically who you are. Part of them tuning into your podcast is them making some sort of decision about an upcoming investment in you either way.
That's true. That's true.
So in addition to being a networking, client attraction, celebrity expert branding tool, it's also a tool for screening in and screening out.
Yeah, I mean, when you say screening in and screening out, are you talking about who you have on your show or what
Who
you
you
say and
attract,
don't
who you
say?
attract, and who you alienate as far as
Oh,
listeners.
I see, I see. Yeah, that's self-selection, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I like you or I don't like you, and this is weird, and I don't like this, and I'm not gonna listen again. Or, oh, wow, let's what's all going on and stuff's happening. And there are often times when we're doing a live stream when the doorbell rings. It's a delivery from Amazon, and it's kind of fun because it's like you're watching Pee-wee Herman or one of those silly
Mhm.
shows, and oh, let's go see who's at the door. It just adds that whole reality to the whole situation.
Absolutely. So, what are a few of the frequently asked questions that people share with you when they're making their decision toward deciding to work with you?
Well, some of the times they're very hesitant about being on camera. So they'll say, "Why should I be on camera live? Why can't I just do podcasting or maybe just do explainer videos where I'm not on screen? Why do I have to be on screen?" Of course, it's again that authenticity. People want to connect with a face, with a person, right? That's why we tell them to do that. Another question they ask is, why would I give my best stuff away for free? Then I'm never going to make any money, right? And so we have to kind of explain that when you provide value first, then people will reciprocate by having that energy exchange. And then another question they'll ask is, how do I make money fast? I got to start making money at this or else, it's not worth doing. And they put the emphasis on making money rather than on providing value.
Right. Right. So I was taking a couple notes here because that's all pretty curious stuff. But what are a few questions you wish people would ask?
Well, one of the things I could ask is, how do I engage my audience? And of course, you engage your audience by providing that high value content that is very interesting to them so that they want to come back and they want to engage with you. They want to put questions in the chat and they want to have that relationship where, they show up every week and you help them with their problems. How can I best serve my audience? Right? That's another great question. Number one, listen to them, be there, open to what they have to say, what questions they're asking, what they're telling you that they want to see more of. For instance, tomorrow night, my partner and I, we're going to do a Zoom call with our we're sending out an invitation to our email list, and we told them last week, this is coming. We want you to come be on Zoom with us so we can hear what you want, so we can direct our content into those areas that you're most interested in. So you've got to listen to your audience and do that however you can. And then the last question they should ask is, how do I create content every week without getting overwhelmed? And that is something that I have been working on for years, to hone that down, streamline that system, and have that framework so that I can do the same things every day, every week on certain days, I have a framework and I have a schedule that I follow, and then I don't get overwhelmed. And then I know that when I do my minimums, I will have the content every week. So those are some questions that I love to answer.
Fantastic. So let's shift gears here a little bit. And let me ask you a few things that will help our listeners get to know you better, Shelley, as a person.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
Well, I have to laugh because people who know me know most of everything about me, right? But it's the people who don't know me, maybe I can help you with that. But the people who know me, even the people who show up on my live stream, they know a lot about me. But what I can tell you is that when I was 52 years old, I had been working with a physical trainer for about 4 years, and she convinced me to do a bikini competition. And so I appeared on stage in a bikini and did these poses, and it's very girly, and it's a lot of fun, but it's also kind of strange because people are judging you about your body, and it's like, why did I do that? I don't really want to be judged on my body. I
Yeah.
just thought it was going to be kind of fun, and it was sort of a graduation from after 4 years of physical training. Here's what I'll do. I'll show off what I learned and all the work that I did. So it's kind of like showing off your content portfolio, right? Like you put all
Yeah.
this work into creating all this content, and then you can show it off and say, my audience is this big, and I have this much content, and I got an award for this. So it's kind of that show off thing at the end of the cycle.
Exactly. So what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I hope that people say that, Shelley, that's Shelley. She's so intuitive. She gave me the exact right advice that I needed when I needed it. And it was just perfect for me. And I followed it, and everything is a success from it. I just, roses and rainbows. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you could go back in time and change one thing you've done or one thing you've experienced, what would it be and why?
I would go back to when I was a junior in high school. I know it's a long way back, but I didn't have a lot of self-confidence back then, and I didn't think I could make it if I went to university. I was afraid, and I didn't even try or apply for scholarships or any of that. And I know that looking back, that I know I could have gotten a scholarship. I know I could have gone to university. I could have gotten a business degree, and that is something I regret, and I wish I had tried harder, but I didn't have that kind of self-confidence back then. So I guess that also informs me that a lot of people don't have self-confidence, and if they're getting ready to go on camera, it's that same kind of a thing. So I can look back and say, what advice would I have given myself to improve my own confidence, and maybe I can share that with somebody else.
Precisely. What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity to do so, what question would you have for them?
All right. Well, I listened to this podcast by Jim Fortin, and he has a brother-in-law who's a shaman, and they live in Sedona, Arizona. And I would love to meet them and talk to them more about spiritual guidance and healing. My family's gone through some very difficult medical issues this year. My husband is going through cancer therapy. My mom had a stroke in the end of March, and I really want to be there for them. It's been very difficult because I had to go to Arizona to be with my mom for 6 weeks while she was transitioning from the hospital to rehab to home. And I couldn't be at home with my husband, who was finishing up his cancer therapies. So it was a lot this year. And although I did keep up with my content production because I do have that ability. It was very difficult, and that's what I would ask about. I would say, how do I help others to heal, and how can I stay in a healthy frame of mind myself?
Yeah, that's very important. So I guess the next thing that I would ask is, and it sounds like this is a great transition actually, what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Yeah, it's my support system. Over the years, I've cultivated a support system of family and friends, and it takes, you have to keep working with these people, talking to them daily and talking back and forth and developing your relationships so that you have that strong support system when something like this comes up. For instance, when I was going to go over to Arizona to be with my mom, and they didn't have high-speed internet and they didn't have all the equipment that I needed for my shows, I told my audience, this is what I'm going through and this is what's happening. And they started donating money so that I could afford to set up my parents' house with the equipment that I needed for that show. And that's the kind of support that I got back because I'd put so many years into feeding my audience. They were ready to give back, and they really came through when I needed that.
In a moment, we're going to share an invitation you have for our audience, and I'm going to be the one to share that, actually. But right now, what I would like to ask you is, in general, what is one action you would urge our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to this episode in a minute or two?
I think the audience should visualize themselves doing a live stream and think about what would their message be to the world. If they could say anything to anyone, what would they say? What would it be about? And then start planning it, because it's available and it's out there and it's ready for you whenever you are ready to share your message and to serve people. Then it's available. So just start thinking and visualizing about that, because as soon as you start to visualize and imagine the possibilities, you start making it happen.
All right. So thank you so much for that. For those of you who are watching this on our YouTube channel or on our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, you will now see on your screen a website, which is framework.agkmedia.studio. That's framework.agkmedia.studio. I just said it twice for those of you who are out and about. For everybody else, visit the website, click on the link in the notes. And what you're going to find when you visit that is the content consistency framework and schedule, which outlines the fun, creativity strengthening habits that help you produce consistent content so you gain momentum and expand your brand and reach. So go to the link, check that out. It's there for you right now. And if there's anything that Shelley Carney has shared with you today that you find interesting, we encourage you to go to the social media links within the show notes and catch up with her. So with that, Shelley Carney, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Well, thank you very much for asking. I was happy to do it.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.